everybody, so I am obviously driving. I'm going to do another little car vlog. I haven't had time the last couple days to get a video up. I've been busy and, you know, life and all that good stuff. So I'm not obviously holding the phone. I have a little device, like I've said before, that, you know, sits on my dash and holds my phone for me. But anyways, I've been getting a question a lot lately, and I want to get an answer up for you guys. And that is, when are we going to try for baby number 2, or, you know, are we going to be having a second child, and all of that sort of thing. And we definitely want to have a second child. And if it were up to me, I want 3 children. I've always thought that 3 was a good number. 4 seemed kind of a lot. But if that's what God blessed us with, I would have been totally fine with that. But then I met my husband, and, you know, he is set on only having 2 children. He thinks that, you know, in this economy and in everything, the way life is going and the way, you know, that 2 children is more than enough to raise and to send to college and all of that stuff. So we will definitely be having a second one. And when we're going to be trying for that baby, I think we're going to be trying around when Tara is about 1 year old. Currently, I am on birth control, so I'm thinking I'm going to be stop taking the pill sometime around her first birthday, and then just let nature take its course, and see what happens. I've always wanted my kids fairly close together. I don't want, I don't want Tara to be in 1 grade growing up, and then my second child to, you know, be like 3 or 4 grades behind her. I want them to be semi-close so that they can be kind of look out for each other in school and kind of be learning at the same time, around, you know, learning the same things at the same time. And then my sister and I are only 18 months apart, and we grew up really close. You know, we were always friends in school, and then, you know, I mean, we did go through our rough patches where we both got at each other's nerves and, you know, all of that, as we shared a room growing up, and, you know, that's a whole other story. But yeah, I definitely want my kids close together. So I would ideally love to definitely, you know, stop the pill when Tara is about 1 year old, and then just see, you know, what happens. But my other thought on that is, you know, I conceived Tara in May of 2010 or 2011, and, you know, if I stop the pill in February of, you know, on her first birthday, February of 2013, I would probably, I mean, it's no guarantee obviously, but I mean, I could possibly conceive again in May of 2013, which would give me another due date of, you know, February 2014. And I'm totally fine with that, I guess, but I would ideally love to have my children's birthdays spaced apart by a few months. That way, you know, they can each have their own birthday. I have a couple of family members that, you know, in my family, there's a lot of September birthdays, and it seems like they're like one on top of another, and, you know, nobody gets to have like their own birthday to themselves. And I think only out of 2 cousins, myself and another one, share a March birthday. So I've always pretty much had my birthday as my own, and I've always loved that growing up, because, you know, everyone was, you know, not super busy with everything else, and, you know, we could have a big party and everybody was able to come, rather than, you know, them have other obligations for family members and things like that. So, you know, I would ideally love to have, you know, a couple months in between. So if I were to try and plan it more to where I would have, say, like a May or June due date, you know, I would have to try more toward the end of 2013, like around, you know, September or October-ish, to have that happen, which, you know, even if I stop birth control in February, I may not get pregnant in May. I may get pregnant more toward the end of the year, or I may get pregnant right away, first cycle, you know, say March, and have a due date, you know, around, December or January, which would again be fine. So, I'm still kind of thinking about it and planning it out, but then there's another aspect. Sorry if this is a really confusing vlog, you guys, but as most of you know, my husband is on workman's comp and has been for about 4 years. He is also on permanent disability from several injuries that he has sustained throughout his adult life. So he's really concerned about having a second child and, him not being back to work yet, because the way permanent disability works is you're able to hold a part-time job, but you can only make a certain amount of money a month, and he wants to get retrained once he's released from workman's comp, which is, crossing my fingers, hopefully the end of this year. So he wants to go back to school and be retrained for something, and then he wants to get a good job, making good money, benefits and all of that, so that when we do have a second child, I would either be able to stay home full-time or only work part-time, which would be like 2 or 3 days a week, and maybe even work from home so that I can take care of the children. So with that kind of playing into the whole baby number 2 thing, it's like maybe I should just stay on birth control a little bit longer until he's completely done being retrained and all of that, because that is, ideally, I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Who doesn't? But right now, that's just absolutely not in the cards for us, because obviously with my husband's situation, somebody has to work. But, so I'm, that in my head, kind of juggling around, thinking, what exactly should we do? But we're definitely going to have a second child, but it's going to be sometime next year, because my husband, what he wants to go back to school for is, something like an x-ray tech or something he can do in the medical field, because prior to getting injured, he was an EMT and a firefighter, and he wants to stay in that kind of medical field, emergency field. He would love to be a 911 dispatcher, but he cannot type fast enough with one hand. So he's probably going to go to school for something, and it'll be about, a 6 or 8 month course, I could probably guess. No guarantees, obviously, but so, we'll probably try toward the end of 2013 if that were the case. I don't know. There's so many things that we've been kind of discussing and tossing around and all of that, but yeah, just to answer your question and kind of sum up the video, but we're definitely going to have a second child, and if God wills it and I can convince my husband, we would have a third as well. Especially, I think he would be more lenient and more for the whole having a third child if we were to have another girl, because he's obviously always wanted a boy. Most men obviously always want boys. That way he can, play football and play baseball and catch and, be sports, because my husband's a huge sports person, a huge outdoors guy, fishing, hunting, all of that stuff. He was a lot more into it, obviously, before he lost his arm. Back in 2005, he used to fish like probably 3 or 4 times a week. So he would love to have a boy to teach him all of those things, and then possibly even put him into the firefighter program. Not saying that Tara couldn't do that volunteer firefighter program when she gets a little bit older, because it definitely is part of the family, and he would love for her to do that, obviously. Anyways, so this video is way too long, but yes, that is kind of our plan. It's sort of, like I said, still up in the air as to exactly when we're going to try. We'll be discussing it more as things kind of smooth out and whatnot, but yeah, that is my video and my answer to your guys' questions on baby number 2. Hopefully you guys could see me well enough with me driving in the sun and all that stuff. But yeah, I will talk to everybody later. Bye.